Check your bank account on a Tuesday, barely 72 hours since your paycheck hit, and somehow a massive chunk of it has already evaporated. This diagram breaks down the median individual income in America, just under $40,000 a year. When you divide that across 365 days, it leaves you with roughly $110 of daily operating cash. When you are operating on a margin that tight, even a small $5 daily expense creates a heavy drag when you are actually trying to build your savings. We live inside a frictionless economy, an ecosystem specifically engineered to remove every possible barrier between you and a transaction. Your income drains into the background noise because the modern economic system is optimized to separate you from your cash as smoothly and quietly as possible. To see exactly how this works, we have to split your spending into 3 separate buckets. The first and heaviest is your fixed costs. This is the inescapable price of simply participating in modern society, and the absolute largest, most unyielding expense in this bucket is housing. Depending on where you live, the typical urban rent demands anywhere from $900 to $3,500 every single month. This stacked column chart visualizes how fast the rest of your baseline necessities consume that $40,000 median income. Healthcare costs typically add another $200 to $600, while transportation, car payments, gas, and insurance takes anywhere from $100 to $700. Before you even wake up in the morning, a legally binding percentage of your monthly paycheck is entirely spoken for, leaving your true disposable income incredibly limited. Once those necessities are paid, we move into the second bucket, variable costs. These are the conscious, daily lifestyle choices we make, heavily driven by social norms and convenience. Inside this category, nothing destroys a bucket faster than dining out and ordering takeout. In 2023, the average American spent $328 a month purely on restaurant tabs and fast food. Comparing individual spending to a family, this variable cost scales aggressively to nearly $500 a month, and small choices carry immense mathematical weight. A seemingly harmless $5 daily habit multiplies into $1,825 a year, and people make these choices constantly. The average person eats out 4 to 5 times a month and orders delivery at least 3 times. These active, repeated convenience choices act as the primary budget sink, bleeding your remaining variable cash dry long before you reach for an occasional luxury purchase. Then there is the final bucket, hidden costs. This is passive spending, born in a digital landscape where technology has entirely removed the psychological pain of handing over cash. Look at the sheer scale of the infrastructure powering this. In 2025 alone, American online shoppers spent a record $3.9 billion every single day. 78% of online shopping traffic comes from mobile devices. When you combine phones with stored credit cards and 2-day free shipping, dropping $50 or renewing a forgotten subscription becomes an invisible, effortless act. Your brain simply cannot track money that it doesn't feel leaving your account. That frictionless environment is exactly why traditional budgeting fails so many people. Traditional budgeting demands that you track every single receipt and categorize every transaction. In a frictionless economy, that level of precision is almost impossible to maintain. Instead, you need a high-level framework that sets broad boundaries rather than micromanaging individual purchases. That is why the 50-30-20 rule gained so much traction. The rule allocates your income into 3 proportional buckets: 50% for fixed needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. If rent overflows the 50% bucket, you must adjust and actively reduce the 30% spent on wants. By focusing on this broad structural allocation instead of receipt tracking, you build the awareness required to override the frictionless economy. Money disappears quickly when it operates in the background, without any clear macro-level direction. But once you understand the pull of your fixed, variable, and hidden costs, and you apply a framework like the 50-30-20 rule to constrain them, you transition from wondering where your paycheck went to actively telling it where to go. Subscribe if you want to take control of your money.